Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
With the big, bold flavour of HP sauce, making breakfast legendary.
You're listening to the Frank Skinner podcast from Absolute Radio. Want your Frank fix a little sooner? Listen live every Saturday from 8 a.m. on Absolute Radio. Across the UK on digital radio, mobile apps, and in London and the South East on 105.8 FM.
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. This morning I'm with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. Them very good friends of mine. And if you'd like to be a friend of mine, you can text the show on 8 12 15.
Is that all it takes?
Yeah, that's it.
I wish I'd have known. I've put in years' worth of work.
I've got a lot of vacancies. Follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio. I said at Frank on the Radio. I mean at Frank on the Radio. And you can email the show via the Absolute Radio website. I'm staring at Father Christmas.
Oh.
What has happened to you? You said tune and then you said Frank on the Radio. Now you're, I see. You've got a Father Christmas chocolate thing.
This is the bell.
Yeah. Is that a gift from Absolute Radio?
It's from Daisy, the producer, who gets us a lint. What's it called? This chocolate, Lindor.
Lint,
darling.
Lint. That's right.
Yeah.
She gets us a lint bunny at Easter, lint Father Christmas at Christmas.
Yeah.
That's her game. I phoned Daisy the other day, and at the end of the phone,
I don't like where this is going.
No, at the end of the phone call, I said, right, okay, cheese then. And I put the phone down and I thought, I've said cheese then. Instead of cheers. And then I thought,
knowing you left it, presumably.
Well, I was going to phone back and say, sorry, I know I said cheese then, but I wasn't getting at anything. I just, I meant to say. And I've got a friend, David Schneider, actually.
Yes, I'm a big fan of his work.
Actor, director.
Yeah.
Lovely man as well.
Writer. And .com millionaire. And he was... he's a massive Freudian.
Well, don't say that, because the tax man might be listening and it might not be entirely accurate.
I think it's all declared. And
okay. David, if you're listening, is it declared? Text in on 8 12 15. Or if you know David...
Yes.
Let us know.
If you're his accountant, text in. Let us know. No, he's an honest man. And he is very, very pro Sigmund Freud.
Is he a Freudian?
And he honestly believes that there is no such thing as an accidental slip of the tongue, that whatever you say, that it is coming from somewhere subconsciously that you're trying to say something else. Every slip. There's no exceptions. So why did I say cheese then? To Daisy. Is it because Daisy is traditionally a name we associate with cattle, and I was working my way through the dairy foods? I don't know. We'll never know. But
were you hungry? Do you think you might have been hungry? Just fancied a bit of?
I can't remember. I might have been. I think it was a pre-lunch. Yeah, I was actually deciding.
A pre-lunch.
I think you were.
It was a pre-lunch.
It was not a pre-lunch.
Maybe you were subconsciously declaring your love of the broader style of comedy.
Cheese
then. That's your favourite?
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know the answers. I'm just trying to help you.
I might have been thinking forward to the Strictly final. I don't know. We'll never know. No. But anyway, that happened. That's something that happened to me this week that I've shared with you.
Yeah, but David Schneider, if you could text in with your tax
Believe
tax details.
Me, I guarantee David Schneider is a man who pays his full taxual.
I know we've done some strange text-ins on our show, but this is surely the most obscure.
Does David Schneider pay his tax?
It's all because you could describe him as a .com millionaire, I should add.
He's a man who got into Twitter early, and he owned it.
He was an early adopter.
He owned it. It wasn't an epic fail. He owned it.
Good.
It's hot in here, isn't it?
Hey, you know what that means? That means, Emily, can you turn the aircon down?
Well, I'm clammy. Okay. You know that. Okay. I feel like brie. I could have been made of brie.
You feel like brie? Can we get some brie? Frank feels like brie.
Cheers then. Maybe I'll adopt it as my regular goodbye. We're looking for a new ending to the show. I mean, that could be it. A lot of people listening to this, I think, are already looking for a new ending to the show.
The Frank Skinner Show. Listen live every Saturday morning from 8 on Absolute Radio.
I went to a Christmas craft fair.
Oh, was it a fair? Fair with a Y. I love a fair
yes,
with a Y.
Yes, it was a fair with a Y.
Oh.
Did you get any craft work? Was there any?
Very fine. If they'd had some craft work, I would have got it.
You know what I love about a fair with a Y, Frank? You always get very kind people wearing sandals. And a lot of mead.
I don't know that I agree with that.
Okay, tell me why.
I find them more stressful than doing, so let's say, a live stand-up tour.
Really?
This thing of looking at people's wares and they look at you, it's the the breakaway moment when you have to then go, what do you say at the moment before you walk away?
Well, don't try Tinder then.
Lovely. Yeah. I think with Tinder, I think people are a bit more, I don't know, my experience is Grindr. I find people there, you know, they're more upfront. But I went to they were selling jerk relish.
Nice.
You know, so it was
lovely,
like you get the jerk chicken things.
You love a condiment, don't you?
I do, which for a Catholic is obviously difficult. I tried all 4 different types and then went, lovely, and then walked away. And although they were like, you know, very, as you say, sweet, gentle people, I felt I was waiting for the meat axe between the shoulder blades. So I find that not buying absolutely mega stressful. And how often do you see anything in a craft fair that you...
Well, normally you're right, because
life?
You can lose yourself, Eminem, in the shop environment.
Yes.
Whereas you can't do that with the store.
Yes, it's almost one-to-one with these people.
It's do you want me? No.
It's exactly a bit like the taster bit in a supermarket, but writ large and in front of the maker of the actual shop.
That's it, it's the make. I mean, I'm sure these people had made the jerk relish, so I was...
you just have some, save the embarrassment. You've got a few quid, what was it,
Frank,
£5?
Come on, Al.
What I'd like to do is bought it and then just smashed it straight up the wall. So, happy now?
Al, sorry to open another tab on the browser.
Oh, yeah.
But you strike me as something of a fan of the taster at the supermarket. I think you've had a 3-course meal.
Good shout. Good shout. Yeah,
is that true?
Yeah.
But as you said, those people, they're not invested in that stuff. Those people they don't care if you bite or not. What are they? It doesn't affect their wages.
No.
But these people, it's their lives.
I mean, he's standing there whilst you're tasting the chutney. He might have even heard the show. He might be thinking, she.
Yeah.
She might be thinking, that's Frank Skinner. I've heard him talk about how much he loves chutney on the show. Oh my God, he's going to buy the whole lot. And then you just walked off.
Yeah. And everyone I tasted, I think they saw it as me getting deeper into obligation.
Yes.
And they got that wrong. Yeah, so I don't know if I could go to another one. I find it hellish.
Yeah.
Just the look at I feel I have to look at every store as if I approve of the stuff that's on it. Mm-hmm. You know, the stupid jewellery and all that. You have to look at it and
stupid jewellery.
Yeah,
I just want to next time I do it in a slight jog, and everyone just go, no, not bad, no, not bad, but not buying anything. No, awful, no, yeah, no, and then go.
You would enjoy Tinder in that case.
But really, it's the most, just telling people, why would I want that? I wish I had the guts to say, I don't want that. That? Why did you make that? Make something nicer than that. I can't, I'm too sensitive.
That is definitely your problem, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know, Al, the thought of Frank in front of a stall, nakedly staring at another human being, judging their wares, it makes me feel stiff with stress.
Well, I that's where I lose my confidence of just telling people that, you know, that's rubbish or whatever, and I apple crumble. I've done one of the most food Freudian slips. Weird.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Okay, I tell you a thing I've started doing a lot, just lately.
Yes.
Is watching television with on mute.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
And I don't mean like for 5 minutes. I mean like 2 or 3 consecutive shows. I watched the whole of the Royal Variety Show on mute.
Well.
And I was in with my... Well, I don't know, it might have been brilliant.
Would it have been?
Well, Jack Whitehall was hosting. He looked like he was storming it. I could see in his eyes
I think it's
that he was
widely
having a good
considered that
time.
he was, yeah.
Yeah. And I thought, I enjoy. I might not have even noticed that inner glow that he'd got. You know, that excitement of thinking this is going well. I don't think I'd have noticed that if I'd just been watching him.
No.
You know, with sound.
Yeah.
I was in with my mother-in-law. She was furious because she wanted to watch the Royal Variety Show.
Hang on, when you said
and
something,
hear it.
what you say, you actively say we're not going to put the volume up. I thought it was just.
Well, I don't say it. I just do it. I don't feel I need to announce it in my own home.
No, the irony of you announcing that you're putting the telly on mute when you could just...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I don't like the thought of Sandy Mason having to sit there.
What's the thinking behind it, Frank?
Well, there was no original. Originally, it was just, you know, sometimes you just want a bit of peace and quiet.
Oh, yeah.
So I just did that.
I've never known that in my whole life.
Well, I've come to what you need is more terrible relationships. After that,
Trust me.
after that, you know, when someone moves out who you despise, that can be the joy then of being on your own can be Anyway,
I'll tell you what I find.
So I just started doing that. And I'll tell you what's good about it as well, is I like to do meandering character assassinations of people on the television. And sometimes people in the room can't hear me tearing them apart.
While people on the screen are gabbing on.
Yeah. I say, hold on, I'm talking. So I've muted them. I watched an episode of Supergirl. Have you seen Supergirl? Is that
No. Are you sure you got the name right? What is it?
No, it's Supergirl.
Okay.
All right.
Oh.
It's about Supergirl, the female who came from Krypton and had superpowers.
Is this one of your weird Channel 5 things?
I don't know what channel it's on.
Okay.
It's not on one of the what you call the mains.
No.
It's a side dish. One of the side dish channels, and they ought to have, hadn't they, a big plate, a big dish.
Yes.
Yeah.
A big Sky dish, and then a small one for your side plate channels.
The
That's one of the best
channels.
ideas you've ever had.
Then you could have like a starter for the, say for the news. You know, you watch a bit of the news before you watch programmes, just so you know what's happening in the world before you can escape it. Yeah. Anyway, Supergirl is this thing. It's very, it's pretty good mute. I've never actually heard it. Callista Flockhart's in it.
Oh, I like her. Harrison Ford.
Yes. Now, I tell you something about Callista Flockhart. Had I been watching it with the sound on, I don't think I would have noticed that every single shot of Callista Flockhart is a slightly softer focus than the rest of the show to get rid of her wrinkles.
Oh.
Every time it cuts to Callista Flockhart, it looks like she's in a fish tank.
That sounds good.
She's not hashtag no filter, is she?
No, she's...
I'm wondering if I can get that. If I'm ever on telly again, I could try and get my management to get me in soft focus. That'd work.
I mean, she must just have one camera that just looks after her.
Oh, right.
And just...
brings on camera.
Yeah.
She's got it in a big suitcase that she turns up with.
Exactly. Sometimes, a bit of Vaseline on the lens.
Yeah.
They love that. Yeah, so
you noticed
I
those
wouldn't have
little
noticed
subtleties.
that. And we had a long debate about whether Supergirl looks better as Supergirl or as Cara Danvers, her secret identity, in which she has her hair up and spectacles. And like so many women, she looks better up with hair up and spectacles. Now, you see, I might have made that point and not been heard because it would have been a big action scene.
That would have been a tragedy.
Yeah.
You don't like your observations to be ruined by the sound of explosions and stuff, do you? You like to...
No, I tell you really notice acting as well when people are giving like the gestures. You really notice
trembly faces. And stuff.
Would honestly, I would recommend it.
I'm gonna. Well, I tell you what I already do it sometimes with James Martin. Saturday Kitchen.
Oh yeah.
Because I like having it on. It's like company without the aggro. Is what
it's
I call
no disrespect to them.
No.
Obviously, sometimes I mean, viciously tearing them apart. But I think one accepts that. I mean, I'm sure it happens to me when I'm on. I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with it. What I don't know, what Daddy doesn't know won't hurt him. is the way I see it.
Creepiest thing you've ever said.
If anyone
Made me
can
feel a bit
identify,
queasy.
if anyone can identify where that came from, by the way,
I've
from
got
that
a guess.
line, what Daddy doesn't know won't hurt
Sing
him.
it again.
Yes. So yes, if anyone can identify what that's from, I'll be
Sick.
no. I will sing a song based on their name.
Skinner, Dean, and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
I think we've heard from the outside world.
We have. People have been telling us.
Sorry, I turned up the wrong mic.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry, everyone. Sorry, Gordon. Yeah, I think I turned up. Sorry. Just talking to the exec producer.
It appears to be called Gordon.
It's nice that you're apologising to Gordon rather than me.
Also,
Me,
Well,
it's Gordon.
we'll talk after. We'll embrace.
1973 dad in a sitcom. So, one suggestion. Frank, would you like to repeat?
Yes. And what Daddy doesn't know won't hurt him.
Lovely. So, the suggestions as to where this
Actually,
is from.
can I do it in my best American accent, which, as you know, is Wild West old-timer?
If you must.
And what Daddy doesn't know won't hurt him. Okay, thank you.
Infinitely preferable. 594 has texted us and suggested Paper Moon.
I'm afraid that's incorrect.
Okay. Alan, you got any?
Whereas I think possibly the rest of the texts are going to be saying, oh, hello. What Daddy doesn't know won't hurt him is from the epic Wait Till Your Father Gets Home.
Exactly. There's a brilliant sort of grown-up cartoon, which seems to have
I
been
used to love
forgotten, called Wait Till Your Father Gets Home, which the father was actually voiced by Tom Bosley,
Yes.
who you may remember was the dad in Happy Days.
Ah.
Yeah, and it was brilliant, and that used to be
Yeah.
Excellent.
We've had another.
Dad ain't so bad, and he seldom gets mad, and we aren't about to desert him. Kids today like to get their own way, and what Daddy doesn't know won't hurt him. There you go.
Thank you for that, Frank.
Well done. Who got that?
Leah
it.
got it.
Leah.
And another number which Alan can look into whilst I read this other text.
579.
Thank you.
I'm going to sing a song for Leah. Jet, I can almost remember the smiling faces. What do you think? It's based on Leah Jet.
Oh, I see.
I think it's rather extraordinary. Some
What
aspects
about-
of your behaviour this
What
morning.
about how sharper than a serpent's tooth it is to have a thankless child?
Oh, lovely.
From King Lear.
King Lear. King Lear.
Yeah.
We've had a text
So
in.
that was a Freudian slip.
You think so?
Yeah. Well, I shudder to think, why would you say Leia? Go on.
575 has texted us. Happy Christmas all. Just wanted to say, the date in which I asked what would Frank Skinner do, Frank, would you just care to explain what that was? Can you remember that?
Yeah, I don't remember it very
Okay.
well.
Well,
Was he
he'd
a
asked-
correspondent that had
Yeah.
got in touch with the show a couple of times, and he was going on a first date and was trying to sort of imbue his life with, I think, a bit of the spirit of Frank. Like,
Yes.
what would
But
Frank
didn't he
Skinner
have
do?
a specific dilemma?
I can't remember that bit.
Anyway, he said
I feel
it went...
bad now. It's, you know, when people think, you
Oh,
know...
and now
we
I've
would
drawn
forget.
attention to it.
It was months
Oh,
ago.
I feel awful about it.
Okay, well...
No, carry on.
maybe
We've had stuff on.
Only 4 people are going to hear it, come on. It went very well, the date. However, she's now with someone else. Oh.
Well, you know, that's what it's like, though, isn't it?
He says, nevertheless, let's let Zygons be Zygons.
Excellent. But you see, if Zygons were just Zygons, there wouldn't be a
Oh.
problem.
You're not getting nerdy now, are you?
You know, it's...
Getting nerdy.
It's,
Yeah, I don't
it's
like it when he
because
shows it
they're
on the show.
shapeshifters that make them a major threat.
He says, and move on forward. Plus, we've got 30 people already coming for Christmas, so perhaps you 3 would
Wow.
fancy it. Legend.
30 people coming for Christmas.
Yeah.
He must from one of those homeless places.
That's going to be a busy old
Nobody
one,
would
that
have
day,
30 in a private home, would they?
Private home.
No, surely not. I don't mean like in a home. You know, there's
Why
a
did he feel the necessity to add the word private?
Yeah, it's a
There's a-
stately home. That's the other
Do you know there's a
place.
George Formby song called It'd Be Better Off in a Home? Just lots of people used to say when I was a kid.
Oh, Frank. Frank, we've been hoisted by...
I forgot that. Well, that phrase, though. I mean, he'd be better off in a home. I don't think there's much chance of reinstalling that as a popular catchphrase. Oh, my goodness.
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
Still laughing about it, be better off it.
Well, Dave Granger is very tickled by it. He said,
What, Dave Granger from Sales?
Maybe. Yeah.
Does it with Gordon?
He says, best Yuletide saying I've ever heard. I'm going to make it my Christmas mission to reinstate he'd be better off in a home. I shall start by putting it in my in-laws' Christmas card.
And why was it always preceded by better off in? There was no other way of saying it, was there?
Well, also, at home is so vague. I'm going to say it during the Queen's speech. she'd be better off in a home.
What if people are saying it about you, Frank?
They might be.
Now, we've had a text on that subject. We've had a tweet, from Carl Patrick, who says, I'm now considering listening to the radio with the mute button pressed.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Oh,
there's
Carl,
always one.
It's one of the hazards of this. Yeah.
Carl,
I don't know what would be the radio equivalent. I suppose you could watch the... do we still have the what they call it?
The camcorder.
Not the
Got a
camcorder.
webcam
Why don't
anymore.
we have the web anymore?
I think it's because you put your top
Cocaine
on.
camcorders. It was like ancient Rome.
What's that from?
It's from what's it called?
Very quirty today.
That
aren't
Ray
you?
Winston movie
Oh.
with Ben Kingsley.
Oh,
Right,
yeah.
yeah.
Something Beast.
Pretty
Sexy
Beast.
Beast.
Sexy,
Beast.
yes.
Not Pretty Beast, darling. Sexy
Yes, well,
Beast.
I was working towards it, dear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I show you my socks?
Oh, love to,
The
Frank.
answer
And why
is
not?
everyone at home should have shouted no. At that point. I'll text you.
Okay, let's have a look. He's putting a leg up.
Excellent.
Bang. Okay,
Excellent.
listeners, they're black with a white motif, which
Yeah.
features, is it sort of triangles and
triangles and
circles?
circles.
Oh, they're lovely. Now,
Lovely,
who made
really
them?
good.
Who made them? Wait,
Bjorn.
there it goes.
Bjorn Borg. Oh my God.
Frank,
Bjorn
just for the
Borg.
benefit of the listeners,
Who knew?
for the benefit of the listeners, Frank just did an ab workout to sit backwards to bare his soles to Emily.
I backed myself.
think he-
So,
Yeah.
fabulous work.
He did
yes.
what's called the baby pose in yoga.
Is it?
But who knew that Bjorn Borg was in hosiery?
Yeah, he's an underwear dude, isn't he? He's.
I'd heard about the pants. I didn't know he'd
know about
he'd gone
the
socks.
downstairs.
he's gone below.
Yeah, he's in the basement, Bjorn. I thought he was just ground floor, so to speak.
Frank, I'd be willing to bet £1,000 that you didn't pay for those.
Well, that's absolutely correct. I try not
you.
to pay for any clothes
No.
at all.
Where did you get them? Were they sent to you by Bjorn?
No, I was dressed in them.
Okay.
And, you know, one thing that wardrobe ladies always say, because obviously you get dressed, you return what you've been wearing usually.
Oh dear.
And,
Whoops.
and then, but they always say, I don't wash socks, dear.
Brilliant.
So if you get socks, you go home in those. And I must say, and this is a very perfect timing on my part, I've recently really got into socks.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not asking for it, 'cause it's the last live show of the year, so
Yeah.
so it's too late to send me Christmas socks. But
I love a sock, Frank.
I've never bought an individual pair in my life. I buy them in like
pairs.
packs of 20 from JD.
Yeah, yeah.
Often.
Donny with the black fluff in them.
Yeah,
that ends up in the shower.
I've worn Virgin flight socks.
Oh, you
Out and
haven't.
about. I have. I just can't throw them
So
away.
embarrassing.
But just lately, I've gone sock crazy. I'll come back to this.
The Frank Skinner Show. Listen live every Saturday morning from 8 on Absolute Radio.
We're discussing your new... Oh,
That's
I
my
might
Santa's bell.
crack into my Santa in a minute.
yeah.
Fire in the disco, fire in Santa's bell. Sorry.
I'm going cranium.
I think
Good.
I think quality socks is the gateway to getting into socks. I think if you've always worn rubbish
Yes.
socks...
Always worn rubbish.
And this is exactly what happened to me a few years ago. I asked for some socks for Christmas because
Yeah.
I was thinking, if you ask someone for socks for Christmas, they'll get you better socks than you would buy yourself.
Yeah.
Well, of course.
It's a great It's what I call a life hack, actually, guys.
Yeah, but it's
And then you get 3 a
traditionally
year.
it's traditionally an unpopular gift.
Oh, not in my house.
No?
I love it. Love it.
That's what my
God.
brother-in-law gets, socks and pants every year.
Well, we have a cleaner, and I've ended up with a lot of odds.
Oh, have you?
A lot of odds. Where do they go? That really does sound like stale standard.
I was just going to say, come on, you're better than that.
Is it just me?
Do you want a pen, Frank? You've got a new tour to write, haven't you?
God, dear, I might have to retire. That might be it for me.
I like
Where
it.
do the lost socks go?
I like that stuff.
He actually just
better
did
than the other
material
stuff.
on lost socks.
Do you mean better than the other stuff?
Better than the ballet link, innit? I mean, remember that.
Everything's better than the ballet link. We can't use that as a justification.
I think the ballet link was better than that.
Yeah, actually.
Because you
at
weren't
least-
trying.
At least it was originally bad.
Yeah, exactly.
But what happens, I mean, where do they go?
I still wear the odd ones sometimes. You know, do that. Just wear
Why
the
don't you see any baby pigeons?
Kathy's a big fan of
Frank, you
odd
haven't done your
socks.
baby
Kath
pigeon
wears-
material?
Kath wears odd socks every
White dog
day.
excrement? Fancy doing 5 on that?
I'm just eating. Kath's a massive fan of the odd socks.
Just wear them.
She wears odd gloves.
No, that's weird.
No, she really does. Just didn't care. No, Kate doesn't care about matching. There's no symmetry in her life.
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. If you'd like to text the show, we're on 8 12 15. And if you'd like to follow the show on Twitter, a bizarre idea, but there we are, you can do that at Frank on the Radio. I say at Frank on the Radio. Or you can email the show. Remember those? Via the Absolute Radio website.
We've had communication from someone called Greer, who says as follows: Hello Frank, Emily and Alan. Last week you were discussing whether you'd ever been snubbed, and I'm pretty sure I was snubbed by Frank himself. It was at the gig. It was at the gig that Gareth spoke about last week in Warwick, where Roy Keane was actually in the audience.
Oh, yes.
I met Frank after the show. Do you want me to continue?
Yeah,
with
go
this?
on,
Okay.
carry on.
And
I think nowadays those stories are a bit less stressful than they would have been.
yes, they don't involve crying women.
No.
And spoke to him about the fact I was doing a film studies degree at the university there. I then went to take a photo of him and a friend, but my camera decided not to focus. This is when Frank said the line, "You're a film studies student but can't work a camera."
Well, that was a reasonable. I mean, I said it in a light-hearted tone.
As I now work in
Do you know
production...
light-hearted tone is that bloke that works in the sales department?
Yeah.
He's not very serious about it, though, is he?
No, he's devil may care. Go
As
on.
I now work in production, I think the line would make an amusing Twitter bio. Merry Christmas to the three of you and the rest of the team, Greer. Or
I don't know-
666, which I'd rather not be a thing.
Okay, fair enough. I think that I would bet any money that I still hung around and we got the photo right and I was nice to Greer.
Yes, I would actually. You're lovely
Because
to
that's
to
me.
your fans, Frank.
That's me. Yeah, I'm not as close to them as I used to be. Why? Sometimes I was in, but no, I won't do that. Yeah, so.
But when they turn up with the Perkins 10 by 8, Frank.
Yes, I know that.
They love a Perkins 10
the
by 8.
Perkins 10 by 8s and the distressed carrier bag for overuse.
You seem to prefer signing the Perkins 10 by 8s than, I think my first week on the show, a chap from the street, what my wife would call an outdoors man, recognised you and insisted you would sign his
Would
arm.
you be better off in a home?
I did sign his arm,
You did sign his arm, but the look of repulsion on your face.
Well, it's
was,
always hard body parts.
Yeah.
I like chap from the streets. That's Mike Skinner.
Yes,
that's
no,
right.
what did you... Someone from
my
outside?
wife calls them outdoors men. He's an outdoors
I don't
man.
like that. It's a bit sexist, obviously, because there are some women.
I'm sure she would say woman or people. You know,
Okay.
she's modern.
Okay, what was we talking about? Socks. Yes, so there was... do you remember we were given socks, you and I?
Yes.
Didn't they commemorate a historic battle?
I think they had something to do with history.
Must have been a bit threadbare.
History, yeah, indeed.
They did. They were...
Some old battle socks. No thanks.
That's right.
Well, they celebrated a battle.
Why would you celebrate a battle? It's very sad news.
Yeah, well,
Good point.
to the victor goes the spoils.
Indeed.
All right.
I didn't like the all right at the end of that.
I've always thought that say would be improved by an all right question mark at the end. To the victor goes the spoils. All right. Got a problem with that? Well, no, you're the victor. Exactly. I am the victor, so shot it. That's where it should be. That's the full version. But of course, it's often used in its truncated form.
You're listening to the Frank Skinner podcast from Absolute Radio. Want your Frank fix a little sooner? Listen live every Saturday from 8 a.m. on Absolute Radio. Across the UK on digital radio, mobile apps, and in London and the South East on 105.8 FM.
Absolute Radio.
We should really discuss what you like to call Star Wars.
Oh, yes, Star Wars.
Star Wars, that's it. Yeah, I was really...
One allows for the fact that stars do many things.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
stress makes
They,
sense. Star
they
Wars,
have
Star
wars.
Orbits, Stardust.
I didn't realise I was speaking to a scientist.
They've got a new film, haven't they?
Yes.
They didn't keep it to themselves.
There's a new one out, and I read in the newspaper this morning, surprise credit at the end
Oh, yeah.
is the Chancellor
Yeah.
of the UK.
George Osborne gets a credit.
Shut up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they
Why's
were.
that then?
Because I think in
I
financial
think he
terms...
plays Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah. I think in financial terms he was extremely lenient.
There's a tax
over
break
them.
for people who make films in Britain, and that's
Yeah.
why they made it
Oh, well, I
here.
know David Schneider was telling me about that only the other day. He still hasn't texted in to tell us if he pays his tax.
I think. What if he don't? No, he definitely does. He
don't.
No, of
definitely
course he
does.
does. He's law-abiding.
I don't want to set the revenue on him accidentally.
No.
No.
I mean, none of us do. But
There's
he
some I would like to set the
definitely
revenue
does,
on, but that will remain nameless.
But yeah, what about that? George Osborne, screen credit as well for the Star Wars, and the Daily Mail got very uppity about they allowed Nelson's column to be lit up like a lightsaber.
Oh, yeah.
They paid £24,000.
24 Gs.
24.
Yeah, but it's
Quite a bargain, I thought.
Well,
yeah. How much did? Do you remember when Gail
off monuments.
Porter's bottom was on the Houses of Parliament?
do I?
How much was that?
How much
Yes.
was Gail Porter's bottom?
I don't know. A friend
don't
of
know,
mine
yeah.
did that, genuinely.
What was it for?
A university
Big.
friend of mine did that. I'll
It
ask him.
was it for Loaded
Gail Porter's
magazine
bottom?
or
Yes.
something like that?
Was he?
Yeah,
It was for
you
FHM.
just know.
I think it was for-
poster boy for the Loaded Generation.
I don't
aren't
think.
you?
I think it was.
Well, you
was
know
it
what?
an advert for wet wipes?
It was FHM, and you know what? We will discuss this at the Loaded reunion gig.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
lads.
Okay. Is
Yeah.
there a load of
New
reunion
lads.
gig?
No, sorry,
You're
it's new
sorting it out,
lads.
Oh
aren't
yeah,
you?
the new lads reunion when that gets
That's right, yeah.
acceptable.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean that was a bigger fuss. I thought it was a very, if you're looking around for something to put a lightsaber on in London, it's
Yeah.
an obvious choice.
It's the one, isn't
the
it?
answer's
But it
been
doesn't make any
staring them
di-
in the face.
Doesn't make
hasn't
any
it?
difference. No one is going to say, yeah, Lord Nelson, I used to think he was like, a very influential national hero, but since that lightsaber thing
Yeah.
gone off him.
Right off him.
Although, having said that, conversely, a historian, they always wheel out a historian, don't they?
Yes.
From a Camden townhouse. And they say this is a great way of getting young people interested in monuments.
Agreed.
Drawing attention. What, they haven't noticed Nelson's column? It's 52 metres high.
Is it really?
I
Yes,
felt
I
You
knew
see,
that.
I
That's a
would say-
fascinating fact that I found out through this, in fact.
Can I
That's
say,
good,
I
that is
think
good.
describing the height of
Yeah. Makes you a terrible
Nelson's
person.
column in metres undermines all his victories in many ways.
true.
Why?
Much. That's because he
metric.
battled
you're
against
right.
the Continentals,
You're right.
and now we're measuring his column.
Yeah.
I always go meters with columns. Sorry.
But he's right though. You
Yeah,
should get
Frank.
interested in statues
Yes.
and history by, like, if they found a very tall person on a statue, they could put like fur on him, and it could be
Yeah.
what's his name?
Well, they
The
could have
Wookiee?
done that. Yeah, Chewbacca.
Wookiee,
Chewie.
Chewbacca.
What's his name, the Wookiee?
I just had a
What's his
memory slip on Chewbacca's
I
name
mean, that's
there.
like some old nana. What's
I
his
know.
name, the
It is a
Wookiee?
very common name.
Darth was there in his cloak. I say Darth, it was an out-of-work actor, let's be honest.
Well, he wasn't allowed to work if he was there as Darth.
It was
Yeah.
one night, come
It
on.
wasn't Dave Prowse.
He's gutted though, isn't
I
he?
noticed
that
he
guy
had a
got
bit of a-
250 quid and a column made 24,000 in the same 24-hour period.
Who gets that
Brutal.
money? Nelson's
that-
estate.
No,
Maybe.
we get it.
What, between us?
No, and it is to be spent on doing up the square.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I don't know if they use that language exactly. It was like more formal. They didn't say doing up the square.
No, going to dot the square, innit?
I think
What
it's a
about
good
Danny
thing.
Dyer?
Did he actually go?
Oh, that
What, the column?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, that's a pity.
Darth did that, though. I've never noticed this, Frank. Darth has a... How can I put this? It's a sort of a codpiece,
yeah.
isn't
Oh,
it?
is that
Yeah.
right?
Oh, I didn't know he wore that.
He's-
Why doesn't he just wear the leather trouser?
Are you talking about...
He's worried about a kick to the nether regions, isn't he? He's not,
Oh, okay.
Who's going to do
prepared for
that?
battle.
If you do that to Darth Vader, you better make it a good one. Because the retribution will be outrageous. Are you talking about Darth Vader now, or Kylo Ren?
No, I'm talking about Darth Vader.
Oh, he's gone
Okay.
nerdy on us. He's gone
Don't go
nerdy.
nerdy. What
Well,
do
he's
you
got.
mean?
He's. This is not. He's not in.
I know, but he was at the premiere.
He's no longer with us.
I know, I understand that, but at the premiere they had a Darth character.
Okay.
Because obviously he's something of an icon with these people.
Oh, yes. Well,
these
he
people
certainly
love
is.
him.
Oh, I'll tell you what, the podcast figures are going to go through the roof when the nerds get hold of this chat,
I
aren't they?
told you a mate of mine worked with a bloke called Darth Vader who changed his name through a Beacon Radio, in Wolverhampton Radio.
Oh.
They had a competition if you change your name by deed poll as part of their promotion of the last Star Wars film. And this bloke joined it, did it, and he became Darth Vader. And my mate worked with him on Wolverhampton Council. And they phoned up after the film had, done and said, so, we got all the stuff ready to change it back. And he said, I'm all right with it, actually. Stick with it.
I'm all right with it.
And when my mate met him, he said, they said, oh, this is Darth. And he said, and why do they call you Darth? He said, that's my name, Darth Vader. And he showed him his driving licence and stuff. He said, are you a massive Star Wars fan? He said, not really. Kids like it. Brilliant. So I hope he was there as well. That would have been good.
Skinner, Dean, and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
So, yes,
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got a mate who's really, really mega Star Wars fan.
This isn't Darth Vader, though, is it? It's another man.
No, he's not. I don't
a friend of
actually
a
know
friend.
Darth Vader.
Does he have a girlfriend? I'm just wondering. Does he watch Doctor Who as well?
He's I think he is currently single, but
Okay.
he hasn't.
Does he like Doctor Who?
Not especially.
Okay.
We all have our specialities, and I really like Star Wars a lot.
Yeah.
But I don't regard myself as a part of their fandom. He knows loads about it.
What do you call a Star Wars fan?
Geek.
This isn't a joke. This
Nerd?
is just genuine inquiry.
Yes, because so they're not
Dork.
Trekkies, and
No. Or text in if you know the answer.
I hate the word Whovian though.
Do you?
Oh, dear.
So, yeah. Anyway, so we arranged about 3 months ago that we would go and see Star Wars on the night it opened.
Lovely.
And then we spoke a few weeks. He said, actually, I'm not going to be able to do it the night it opened. Can we do it on the weekend? So this Saturday or Sunday. I said,
Okay.
yeah. I said, this is something. He's a massive fan.
Yeah.
And
Where have you gone?
yeah, so I'm trying to work out how much I can tell. So anyway, so we made this arrangement. So it's been ongoing. So it was all set up, and then I got a phone call on Wednesday from another mate who said, I got a couple of tickets for I got a spare ticket for the BAFTA screening, Star Wars on Thursday. He said, and there's a Q&A with the cast and...
When you say
Crew.
the cast, who? Chewbacca?
So, he didn't know, but I said, OK, I'll go.
You
Oh.
didn't.
So I just blew the other guy out.
I'm really upset with you.
No, it's an absolute scandal. But I spoke to
That's
him.
very unlike you as well. You're not shallow.
No, I'm not at all. But I did it. Can I say, the guy I blew out, I spoke to him yesterday, and he said, so how come you didn't go? And I said, well, I got offered, you know, it's
Something better came up.
A crew and cast Q&A. He said, "Oh, I'd have blown you out for that."
Yeah.
So it was fine.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, well,
That's
if you can
good.
sleep tonight, that's good.
I can sleep fine. I mean, at the end of the day, I watched Star Wars on Thursday night. It was absolutely awesome. I mean,
Awesome.
100% awesome.
So you've seen it?
I have, yeah. I have zero criticisms.
Really? Zero?
Yeah.
Well, imagine if they turned the sound off, you'd have loads.
And at one point,
Should've watched it on mute.
after it finished, after the Gordon Brown, not the Gordon Brown, what's he called? George Osborne.
Yeah,
I
George
think.
Osborne.
Gordon Brown was thanked as well, I think. He inspired one of the monsters.
They were all fans.
And I could see there was an old guy looking over, like, you know, you get, like, the side walls in a
Yeah.
cinema. I could see an old guy looking back over at the audience. And I thought, that'll be, you know, some Usher bloke. Wait and see if they're... It was this Harrison Ford.
Shut up.
Yeah. Just having a peep at the audience.
No.
Brilliant.
So we did
You know,
a
I love
Q&A.
Harrison.
So the Q&A after was Harrison Ford,
No.
Daisy Ridley, who's the
No.
main star, John Boyega, who's the other main
Do you know
star.
what? You were so right to blow that guy out.
Yeah, totally.
There is no way I would have turned that
What
down.
guy?
Yeah,
J.J.
exactly.
Abrams was there, the writer, the producer. I mean, it was absolutely...
I've totally changed my mind.
And I've never been to one of these things, a Q&A. I've been to a few things at theatre film.
Ford.
With a Q&A. Harrison Ford was there. And there was a bit where the bloke said, "Why do you think your character, you know, has been so popular across this whole franchise? Why has the arc of your character been so interesting?" He said, and Harrison Ford said, What's an arc? And I thought, if anybody knows what an arc is, it's got to be Harrison Ford. He's the arc man, surely.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Yeah, so it was awesome. I blew out a close friend, a 3-month date that we'd set up. But, you know.
No, I've revised my opinion of that.
Me too.
Now that I've heard the cast of characters, I mean, it's extraordinary.
It was pretty amazing. And would you say Harrison Ford was one of the great pioneers of the American surname as a first name?
Yes, I
Tradition.
would. Very much so.
I mean, it's mainly done by American actresses now, I know.
Yeah.
Skinner Frank, I don't know if you've seen her. It's beautiful.
Lovely.
Cochrane Allen, as we said before, works perfectly.
I don't think it does.
Dean
I think it
Emily.
does.
Dean Emily plays for Sunderland.
Yeah.
No, I think he was. Wasn't he a close? Wasn't he at the Dublin High Church, Dean Emily?
Yeah, I believe it.
I think he wrote a treatise on the government of the tongue.
He's a controversial figure.
He is in many ways. So yeah, so it was. I mean, we don't really do. We do the film reviews on here occasionally.
Yeah, but we give it like 3 bottles of beer or whatever.
Do we?
Bottles of Pernod. That's what we did with our... How many bottles of Pernod, Frank?
Oh,
Out of
endless.
5.
It was. I tell you what I did. Even though I was at a BAFTA screening, I was
Lovely venue, that. FYI.
I was doing quite a bit of. Oh, come on! Look, in the
Getting into
Oh,
it.
in
how
the film.
embarrassing.
You just couldn't help it.
Yeah, but
Also, it's quite loud in parts. You feel you can
Right.
shout.
No wonder poor old Harrison was peeking his head through, thinking, who's that
Yeah.
crazy old man?
I don't think he
Who's
can
that
hear
guy?
me. He's gone a bit.
I actually heard that Harrison said, I think he'd be better off in a home.
Look, yeah, I think he would if he don't know what an arc is.
He's famously grumpy, isn't he?
But I
Is
tell you
he?
what, but in a funny
that's sounding
way,
him.
because in the Q&A he had that, and he's got that kind of his eyes and the way his mouth is as. I
Don't get
has
me
he had work
started.
done?
I've got such a crush
Has he
on
had
that
work
man.
done?
No, he doesn't need work. Look
See,
at the
that's
man.
what I like. I think he's still. I quite like being the sort of slightly balmy old guy thing. And
I wonder who else thinks that.
anyway, I've got to tell you, it was. I was properly fanboy
Frank.
excited. It was great. And sometimes when it's the Star Wars thing, you feel a bit guilty
Why?
because my first loyalty is to the Gallifreyan always.
Is that the
Oh,
Who
come
thing?
on.
Yeah.
Regional sci-fi.
The Who?
I saw. I bumped into Sylvester McCoy at a recording studio. He was doing it.
Worked with them all.
He was
Met them
doing,
all. Harrison
Work
Ford
with
one
them all.
minute, Sylvester McCoy the next.
and he was he was recording a Doctor Who audio.
Mm-hmm.
And,
of course he was.
We were chatting for a bit, and he looked at his watch. He said, I'm sorry, Frank, I must go. I have to go and save the universe. Which I thought, and he means it. That made me very happy.
Frank, 830, morning. Apparently a Star Wars fan can be a Star-woid.
Star-woid.
Yeah, what do we think?
That sounds like a puzzle in a New York newspaper.
Star-woid.
I'm going to try the Star-woid. Okay, begins with D. That's how I see it.
Okay.
This could be the new... what's that thing that Carol Vorderman does?
Countdown.
No, with numbers.
She doesn't do it anymore.
With numbers in the paper.
Oh, the big
I don't
What's
know.
it
I don't read
called?
the Express.
Sudoku.
Sudoku. God
Glad
dear.
to be a help.
Blood out of a stone. Blood out of a Laura Stone.
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
We were discussing Star Wars just moments ago, and there's
So what
another...
do you say, Star Wars?
I do, yeah, just like that.
When you say you say, it's not just Alan as an individual. The entire population says Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, my team
But
represents
you're
the
talking as if nothing else
population.
happens in the galaxy.
Star world.
Other than wars.
Well, that's...
Star Peace could be another...
I don't know if it's worthy of that level of analysis.
I think
It's
that's a
just how you
spin-off.
say it.
I
Frank.
think everything is
I know,
worthy of a
right,
certain
and
amount.
that's
You're
why
right.
I love you.
The
that's why.
The Star Peace films is a franchise waiting to be tapped into, isn't it?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah. Anyway, there's another quirky little story that apparently
Oh, I like it when they go quirky on the radio.
apparently the Palatoy factory, which is in the Midlands in Leicestershire,
Action man.
yeah, made lots of Star Wars merchandise, figures, etc. And a load of them got dumped in a mystery landfill somewhere in Leicester. So they think they might be because obviously
Ashby
they're
de la
worth.
Zouche.
Bless you. Bless you, but I'm trying to talk about this. Yeah, it's near Ashby de la Zouche, and there's loads of because they're worth a bomb. Some of these Star Wars figures, Star Wars.
Amazing that there
Boba
was-
Fett, 18k.
I think at some point in my childhood I had a Boba Fett figure.
Did you?
And I think it's.
Oh, you're
That's
very
gone.
slimmed down now.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Paleo in it. What can I tell you?
Did you? You had one
you
of
have
those
a
in your
Millennium
childhood?
I think we had a Boba Fett. I mean, I might be wrong. I might be just getting confused.
would have been.
but-
Those were your Central Reservation years, frankly.
Well,
But
yeah.
you might have woken up next to one.
when-
You might.
in my childhood, the only action figure I had was Bomber Harris,
Oh yeah. Or Stretch Adams.
whose parents showed tremendous foresight.
We should go down there.
What, Dresden? It's
No.
all changed now.
No, Ashby de la Zouche.
Oh, okay. Well,
You could have a rummage around in
Do you
the
believe-
soil.
I'll tell
Do
you
you
what,
believe this story?
have a
Do
bit
you
of a
believe it?
wurzel.
Yeah.
Do you believe
Aye.
it? Do you believe this story? Do you think it's... I think
Well,
that's
you
just-
told me so, I believe it.
I just think it's Leicester trying to bump up the land prices or something. First of all, it was
Trying to
Richard
get the
III.
gardens digged.
A minute ago it was Richard III in a car park. Now it's, we're all sitting on millions of pounds worth of Star Wars figures.
You say that, we could be quids in.
It's all
They're all
happening
nestling in the
Leicester.
It's
soil
all
up there.
Leicester.
Top of the Premier League, Richard
Yeah.
III, Star Wars
What's
landfill.
happened? What's happened to Leicester? 4 years ago, all it had was pound shops.
I
now,
might invest in property in Leicester.
yeah, that's a good idea.
Why not?
Yeah, if you could get the... presumably there'll be an SW somewhere, because Richard III, there was a big R, if you remember, in the car
yes,
park.
that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Underneath.
Yeah.
I'm just... But what I don't... Was there ever a point when Star Wars was...
What's happened to you? You've changed the way you say it.
Have I?
You said Star Wars like
Oh, yeah.
normal people do.
You know, when I said that, I thought I had a sort of a moment. Maybe I've changed forever. Was there ever a point when Star Wars was so unpopular that you'd just bury the toys? I don't think there was. They never
That
lost
seems
their
strange,
value.
doesn't it?
But I like the idea of it. I couldn't... Again, I have a certain merch loyalty. I was shopping in Toys R Us recently.
Oh, yeah.
It's that time of the year.
Why not?
And...
You've got all your needs in there. It's great, Toys
Yeah.
R Us. Toys R Us, Toys R Us.
And then I saw a couple of Daleks, including Black Dalek Supreme, from invasion of Earth.
Garlic supreme.
Yeah.
Hate that
Yeah.
70s dessert.
You remember the Black Dalek?
The one with the runny icing on the top.
Baby, where did our love go? And I thought there was him and classic 60s Silver Dalek, you know.
Oh.
And I thought...
No, I don't know. Of course
Well,
I don't know.
imagine.
Classic silver Dalek.
And I thought, you know those pictures of Daleks going over Westminster Bridge and stuff? You must have seen
Oh,
those
yeah, I've
pictures.
seen those,
Yeah, well,
yeah.
that kind of old-fashioned Dalek.
God, first Nelson's column, now let Westminster Bridge.
Honestly, it's like a marvellous tour of the capital.
Yeah.
So, I thought I'm getting these from me.
Good for you.
Yeah,
Did you
so
buy
I do.
stuff for yourself? from
That
Toys
is
R
when-
Us?
So
That is when Christmas shopping goes bad.
I bought for myself from Toys R Us.
I bet you pretended they were for your son. He'll love these. It's like when people with drink problems go into the off-license and go, yeah, we thought we'd have 4 bottles of wine tonight.
Well, I don't know if
I know their game.
Do you remember me telling you that my birthday, I think it was last year or the year before, Kath bought me this Dalek set, and it had these flying platforms, hoverbouts, I think they call them, and she didn't buy me the attendant Daleks. So I just had this empty thing with this platform. Can I tell you, and you heard it here first, that platform is empty no more. Oh, good. There is a Dalek at the helm. Yeah, so I must admit, when I went up to
Boxing
bed...
Day at yours is going to be fun.
When I went up to bed last... Because they're at the side of my bed. I went up to bed last night. I had a little surge of excitement on the way up the stairs that I was going to see them.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, adjustable eye stalk.
We've all got our own needs.
Adjustable eye stalk.
Adjustable eye stalk, yeah. That's the name of my new band.
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text the show on 8 12 15. Follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio. Email the show via the Absolute Radio website.
I don't think you needed to be reading that. I think you know it deep down. But hey, who am I?
I had a
Who am
week
I to
off
tell you
last
how
week.
to
I
do your job?
lost a bit of confidence.
Oh.
Billy
It'll come
has
back.
texted us.
Billy?
Yes, my gran worked at the toy
Can you tell him not to be a hero?
Okay.
That's my advice.
My gran worked at the toy makers in Leicester and used to send us Star Wars figures in the 80s when I
Brilliant.
was a kid living in America.
Wow, what a
Awesome.
great place to have a family member working.
Brilliant.
I know. I visited my uncle the other week and he told me they'd found a boxed New Millennium Falcon in Grandad's attic. I was buzzing all night at the thought of getting my hands on a mint version for my collection. About 2 hours later, he said he was winding me up. Horrible uncle. I love the horrible uncle.
Yeah, good for him.
Did I ever tell you about when my friend Conleth? He got
One of his biggest fans.
a brilliant. He got a brilliant part in the producers in the West End playing Debris.
Yeah, Roger Debris.
And then on April the 1st, he got up in the morning, April the 1st, and I said, "You have definitely got the part. It's done and dusted, isn't it?" He said, "Yeah, what?" I said, "Just said on the radio, Alan Cummins doing it."
You didn't say that.
And I left him for about 2 hours. He told me after he was dying inside, he was trying to look calm about it.
That's
Couldn't
a good...
get his agent
Your
to say.
practical jokes, that's up there
That is
with when
good.
you said to your mother-in-law that the toilet was broken.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that was a nice surprise because I gave her the gift of the toilet not being broken.
And then he said the car had been stolen.
Yeah. Just as I gave him the gift of still having that part. It's like if someone says to me, "What's the time?" I always had an hour on, and then I tell them the truth. I've given them an extra hour on their life.
That's nice of you.
Okay, moving on.
Nice guy.
Oh, we need to talk about the spaceman because there were some space happenings.
I wish I
this
was a
week.
spaceman.
dear.
The fastest guy alive, I'd fly you round the universe.
I'm not going to lie, I had a feeling he was going to break into song when I
Oh,
said,
okay.
do you there? I
Major
just-
Tim Peake.
Yes.
He became the first British astronaut to, what was it? Board the
Good.
International Space Station.
That's
I don't
right.
know what that means, but I love it.
Yeah, he's the first publicly funded type.
Like
guy,
professional.
isn't
Okay.
They said professional. He's a full-time professional. All the other astronauts that have been British have been kind of part-timers,
Is that
like,
right?
like rugby league.
It's an odd part-time job, isn't it? Because how do you
It
get
is.
back?
6 years training.
It's not like
I
you
mean,
say,
come on.
I'll just do 3 days a week on the
Yeah.
International Space
The
Station.
rest
He's
of the
been
time I'm on the
training.
bar in my local
I mean,
As
pub.
long as we've been doing this radio show, he's been training. I mean, come
Yeah.
on.
Ridiculous. Nothing requires that level of training.
He sent a tweet. He thanked what I like to think is his equivalent of the police. He
Oh,
said,
yeah.
thanks to Yuri. Couldn't have done it without him.
Yes.
They're all called Yuri, aren't they?
No, that... yeah,
He didn't
yeah,
mean
that's right.
Gagarin.
No,
did
he didn't. He meant his
No.
colleague Yuri. He's
Although
up there
Yuri
with him.
Gagarin keeps getting a mention, doesn't he, in this? Like,
Well, in
Well.
space.
yeah.
Well, he's the
It's like-
governor. He's the governor up
If
there.
you read about ostriches, Bernie Clifton always crops up.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
I
it's just-
see
that's
now.
just-
Central Reservations.
I feel a
Frank
fool.
Skinner.
One thing I like about Tim Peake is that he sounds a bit like Twin Peaks,
Well,
I do.
which
Yeah.
is one of my favourite shows of all time.
he's perfect for headline writers, isn't he? Because he's nearly Twin Peaks, and also
Yeah.
you've got Ground Control to Major Tim.
Oh,
It's
there's
there for
so
the-
much going on.
And also,
for
of
the-
course, come on, Tim!
Yeah.
Got that as well, the Wimbledon
Yeah.
element.
So close to so many things. Perfect.
Elton John tweeted him.
Of course, you
No,
couldn't
I
have-
didn't like this.
If
Didn't
he,
you? Okay.
if
I'm
he
gonna
had
be
been a
honest.
tennis
Let's come
player,
back to this.
if
We've
he's a
parked that
tennis
tab.
player, you couldn't call it Peak Hill, because it doesn't make any sense.
No.
Because
No.
a peak is.
Tim Hill. No.
Sorry, Elton John. Oh, from one rocket man to another.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Well, what do you
big
think of that,
yourself
Al?
up. Big yourself up, Elton. You've just sang a few songs. He's been in training for 4 years. How good's your science, Elton?
Kind of player. Back of cold here.
Also, he said the
When you
night...
say cold as hell, Elton, I'm not
Yeah.
sure you've read the theology. You either need what you need is a Bible and a thermometer,
Yeah, not a Versace jacket, which I know is one of your priorities.
or a white shell suit. Your other preference. What did you say? I was just saying my breath. Elton John there, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
You're wrong.
Are you
Anyway,
having an off-air chat about someone?
yes.
Yes.
Frank, I'm not going to say who it is, but Frank is suggesting someone is deceased. He's very much alive.
Oh,
I've checked. Okay.
Yeah, you know you can get that with celebrities. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely
yeah.
convinced. I thought I remembered him going.
No,
Oh,
he's
well.
still alive.
Well, that's great news. A lovely Christmas present, unexpected.
I mean, if you want to text in your guesses as to who this celebrity
I'll be honest
is.
with you. It was Eric.
No, oh.
It's Eric Hall,
Yeah.
the ex, monster.
I'm pretty convinced he's alive. If you know different...
No,
do
you just
text
told
in.
me he's definitely
Well, I
alive.
know, but you don't always believe me.
Oh God! Don't take him away. Just giving him me back. They've taken him away again.
It's like you with an hour, isn't it?
Oh God! It's like a Bonji bereavement.
He's got his own radio show, I believe.
Goodness.
Well, I'm just so happy he's alive. I don't care what he's doing. Well, obviously, I don't want him to do anything naughty.
No. Anyway, Major Tim Peake. Where were
Major
we?
Tim.
Oh, the night before the trip,
Steady.
well, this is a pretty big night, isn't it? What are you going to do? Your last night, literally on Earth, Frank.
Oh, yeah.
He
Well,
watched
it's
a
not his
film.
like he's coming back.
Let's hope.
Yeah, if you want a big-
Godspeed.
Well,
And he watched
Eric
a film.
Hall's back. I'm from the other world. I mean, I fancy his chances of coming back from the ISS.
He watched a film and he had a massage. Now, I find the massage aspect a little bit sleazy. I don't like it.
I hate massage.
Legend! I just think legend.
What was the film? What would you watch the night before going to space?
The Martian.
I'd go Michael Owen Seabiscuit. Why not?
Oh, that's.
My favourite film's The Bodyguard. I'd always watch that. No, it is. People don't believe it. It is.
Yeah. They
Frank's
let-
looking at me with contempt, like, why not one of the
That's not
Star
contempt.
Wars?
I was waiting for the punchline,
the
then I thought
punchline.
he means it.
I mean,
God. The
Lovely.
other thing I read is that they played music as they left. An old Russian song about a cosmonaut pining for home.
Yes, now I'd like to hear that song. Can you
surprised
imagine
that's not already your ringtone, to be honest.
Frank is going to come up with his own version of that.
I would.
yeah.
How did that? I reckon you can tell us how that goes, Frank.
Well, it goes a bit like this. Oh, they miss Earth. It It is so bleak up here. I mean, even compared to Moscow. And it's even a little bit... so, yes, that was a little bit of it there. It's spoken. It's like Telly Savalas' version of If. If a picture paints 1,000 words.
Yeah.
No, I would love to hear the original of that song. If anyone's got access to it, please send it to the show.
Well, Tim Peake might be listening. They've probably got, internet radio
get our
up there.
podcast up there.
Yeah.
What about he got a
Very
telegram from the Duke of Edinburgh and the Queen?
Did he?
Yeah.
Which said,
That's nice, isn't it?
"We are pleased to transmit our best wishes to Major Timothy Peake." So, of course, everybody calls him Tim Peake. They have to give him his military thing, of course, because they're so utterly obsessed with the military.
Oh, yeah.
And they have to call him Timothy. I read it and I said out loud to myself, hoity-toity. And I did. Also, it ruins the Twin Peaks joke.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
They don't care enough about jokes, do they, the royal family? It's not their
they
thing.
just steamroll out some real good gags.
Not
They
their world.
tread in everything.
But if I lived with the royal family, if that just by some strange
It's a big
freak
if,
accident,
but we'll go with it.
how often in the day would I say hoity-toity at one of them? I mean, Major Timothy Peake. Oh, shut up.
Skinner, Dean, and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
I don't know if I've seen a clip that was erroneous, but I saw
Erroneous Bosch.
I saw that whilst he's up in the ISS, the space station, that a lot of his day-to-day duties will be involving maintaining the space station, like fixing stuff. Is that right? Is that what he's going up there?
Well,
I know he's got
essentially
some,
Bob the Builder.
he's got some science tasks, but is he really going up there as like a long-distance janitor? Is he?
Well, I suppose that they have
Fixing
to maintain.
That makes me
But they're
feel...
just doing experiments all day, is what they're doing.
That
It's
makes me
not
feel
as
really
exciting
useless.
as it sounds.
If he's doing, like, handyman stuff in space, and I don't do any on Earth, that
Yes.
makes me feel really useless.
Yes, but I'd do a lot more if I could just release the hammer and it would stay there. You could put a picture up, you got time to knock the nail in before the picture falls down.
Oh,
6
that's
months.
good.
Or
Yeah.
falls up.
Falls
Yeah.
off.
He's running the London Marathon, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Well, when's he going to find time to do that if he's up there?
Exactly the time that the London Marathon is on.
He's
He's going to do
he's
it on
gonna
a
run the
treadmill.
same distance on a treadmill.
He's not.
He is. But, given that he's in space, presumably he'll be able to have the treadmill spinning whilst he does giant steps, floating like...
And he's got...
He'll probably do the marathon in about 10 strides, won't he?
Do
in
you
space?
remember the thing? Yeah, exactly. Do you remember the thing we were talking about? Yeah, he needn't wear trainers. He can run like a foot above the.
why
does he
not?
need a treadmill? He can just run above the carpet.
Totally.
I wonder
Anyway,
if we watch films in space.
yeah, he's going to watch Star Wars.
That would be a bit depressing.
Hang on. How's he going to get access to that? in
Oh, they've
space?
sent him up with a.
A pirate copy. Has he got it on VHS pirate?
Got it from some bloke in Camden.
It's good- in that
not all the
DVD,
special effects are finished on it.
And
Very
you
connected.
you see 3 men's heads silhouetted
Brilliant.
in front of you the whole
That
time,
is-
Frank.
That is good.
I'm
They
all right
had-
with that.
Frank, strange traditions. The other strange traditions. Did you read about this?
Oh,
that they
yeah,
have.
yeah.
One is that they go and they visit Yuri Gagarin's office. Gagarin, you say. Gagarin, sorry. And then they sign the hotel door,
Oh yeah.
and then they do something which is revolting.
Yes, they
urinate.
They urinate. They
On the left wheel of the bus.
Urinate is the other Russian
Yeah.
guy who works on it. Yeah, on the back. They do that back wheel, like passenger side back wheel thing that cab drivers can
You're
do.
allowed
Yeah.
to do.
And they get a smack on the bum from the chief designer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, it's lonely up there. Got to get them used to it.
Treasure that
Didn't we all
memory.
when we were starting off in
Yeah,
journalism?
that's the ramp. That's the ramp to full-on man-on-man love in space. But just layering up the new experiences. Timbo,
Major Timothy Peake.
Major Timothy Peake. Yeah.
The Frank Skinner Show. Listen live every Saturday morning from 8 on Absolute Radio.
I know. We were talking about Buzz Aldrin the other week, and that
Yes.
who's ever had any involvement with space at all has to wear at least 4 badges on their jackets. I noticed he was heavily badged up, Tim Peake, on his way to the spaceship.
He has got one badge that was designed in a Blue Peter competition. That's an extra one that's on his gear.
I mean, I've always thought anyone who wears more than 3 badges is one of the troubled people.
Yeah.
But with
better off in a home.
better off.
Outdoorsman.
But astronauts, they seem to be an exception. They love a sew-on, what we used to call a splash patch. Mm-hmm. They love one of those.
Yeah.
Charming.
Yeah, but, good on him. He's it's exciting, and I shall be watching his
It's something to boast about. It's quite a thing.
To boast about.
That's how you started the year.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I find it humbling, actually.
What have you done 2015?
2015 hasn't been a write-off for me.
Go on then, what have you done?
Well,
that's good.
I've not gone to space, but I have broken in some very stiff denim jeans. So,
well done.
That's not bad, is it?
Anything else?
No, nothing else. Nothing, not a single thing.
Oh.
No, I can't even remember.
You're like the denim whisperer.
I don't think I've even replied to an email. That's as much as I've done, is just broken in these jeans.
I've bought a Benz. I learnt to ride a horse, and I've been in 2 cockpits.
All right. Giving it the big I am.
That's pretty good for a year.
Thank you.
2 cockpits?
Yeah. None of your business.
Okay.
Frank Skinner. What have you done this year?
Well, I was inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Saw that.
But I'll tell you something
Anything
about
else?
that. Can I tell you the aftermath of that?
Oh, go on.
I don't know if you remember, but on the day, as well as my sort of award,
Yeah.
when I say award, I mean framed picture, I was given a DAB radio. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Lovely. I was very pleased with the DAB
Lovely.
radio.
Yeah.
So I come to set it up the other day, and there's it's supposed to have like a thing to charge the battery with it. No battery, no charger.
Useless.
They gave it me out the box.
That's Birmingham for you.
Well, what am I supposed to do? Contact the Radio Academy and say, I believe you've got my lead, and...
Well, who gave it to you? Adrian Childs?
Well,
He handed it over.
Yeah, he can't be
handed it
though. He's
yeah, but
only a
he wouldn't
messenger.
have unboxed it.
When you say that.
He must have been given it. So so I've just got this radio with half the things missing.
Is there not a cable in your house that also fits the same thing? You should have a little rummage in the cables drawer. Have you got a cables drawer?
Have a Wurzel.
Have you got a cables drawer? We've got a cables.
I've got a cables wicker basket.
Good. Have a look in there.
I like to balance the old with the new.
Play a flute, and maybe the appropriate cable will come up like a snake.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
Oh, that'd be great.
So you could do that if you was on the International Space Station.
That would be great.
Yeah.
But no, I what can I do? Dear Radio Academy, you know that radio? I mean, I can't.
Well, it just
You
sounds
can't
a bit
start with,
cheap,
you know, that
doesn't it?
radio.
It does sound cheap, but, it's under... I mean, it's bad enough there wasn't a proper award without giving me a radio without the battery.
Yeah.
Honestly, in the end, it was like receiving some sort of honour out of a skip.
Have you checked that it's not like a biscuit
They
tin?
gave me a broken office chair and a keyboard, an unconnected keyboard. Well, the M doesn't work. And some plasterboard. I mean, what am I going to do with that?
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
So, what else? Oh, you've been away, Em.
I have. I popped over to Miami this week.
For some winter sun.
I love a winter
Oh.
sun break.
You get winter sun here.
You can. It actually
That's
makes
true.
driving quite hazardous, doesn't
I know.
it? But
Oh, yes.
motoring
Oh,
correspondent.
that was
Alan
another one of my
Cochrane.
great achievements
Yeah.
of 2015, was parking directly outside the Albert Hall for the Charles Aznavour gig.
Oh,
That
you
is-
did.
I mean,
That's up
right
there.
outside the door.
You got great parking.
So it's lovely in Miami. I was once on the beach there with Mark Foster, the swimmer, at 1:30 a.m.
Didn't you go there with Adrian Childs?
I went there with Adrian Charles, but I upgraded.
Funnily enough, so did I, and that's what I love about BA.
Yeah.
No, I went into the cockpit. That was
Oh,
my
is
second
that-
cockpit visit. I love a cockpit foray because the hats are hung up, and what I like is when you put the hat on and you've got the long hair, the uniformed hat, you look very 70s glamour model, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah, do they
Very
not think a
pastry.
stripogram's turned up if they turn
Yeah,
around?
there's
and
an
you've got-
element of
How
that.
dare you? I took so
is a
many
compliment.
selfies. I was taking selfies right against the window. I
Fantastic.
took so many, I'll show you. There's about 17, I think. With pilot, without pilot. So many.
Without pilot, what they stepped out for a second.
Yeah.
Stepped
And then
out for
what's
some
the
of the
second in
miniatures
command
from the bar.
called?
What's what called?
The second in command.
Vice,
co-pilot?
Vice
no,
pilot.
no, it's called something else. Anyway,
captain?
text in if you're a pilot. Text in anyway if you're a pilot, because I love them. But, yeah, he actually, the pilot had to say, he had to make excuses and leave. He had to say, well, I've got to get on now. He had to fly the plane. Of course he had to get on. I wouldn't leave, though. Anyway, they've got in these planes a bit of a Hollywood staircase. I love the old school staircases on the plane.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant there was no carpet.
A lovely flight. Then I arrived in the
Later review.
hotel.
Yeah.
Stayed in the hotel, which the creative consultant for this hotel is Baz Luhrmann. You know, the film director.
Oh, Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet.
Exactly.
Baz
And
Luhrmann's-
Moulin Rouge.
Baz Luhrmann's sunscreen.
I
Yeah.
hate Moulin Rouge.
You hate it?
One of my worst films ever.
Oh, thanks for harshing my mellow.
Sorry.
This is a lovely hotel. It's called La Faina. There is the pool changes colour. Purple, pink, all sorts
there
going
used to be
on.
rumours about that when I was at school.
What's that?
That if you peed in the pool, it was
that
full
there's
of
stuff
dye.
in the
and-
water.
Isn't that
So it
sort
actually
of hotel?
happened. This is the
No.
future come true. It's like
I've
CDs.
heard of that. Luhrmann.
No one was urinating in the pool. Or any other
You
Russian
don't know that
astronaut.
for certain.
Well, I hope not. I mean, there are a lot of elderly people out there, but I don't think
yeah.
that was happening. But there was hardly any people staying there, because it was an early stay I was getting. So it was like The Shining. There were 6 of us. And can I tell you, any more than 6 now in a hotel is too many for me. The levels of attention I got, I had a sun cream man. I had...
Baz Luhrmann, sun cream man.
Of course.
He comes over...
Did he give you advice? As
Did
he,
you have a balcony with a man standing underneath? And an old nursey. Old nursey be there.
Frank, he comes over and he offers you sun cream. So
no,
then...
surely he has to say sunscreen. Isn't that
No,
the
he
song?
doesn't. And then I had a foot waterer. He comes over to you on the beach with a red watering can, and he says, refresh, and then he
was
pours it all over your
Almost
feet.
certainly unofficial.
Do you think that's just...
In fact, he'd be better off in that. Anyway.
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
So anyway, when I was in Miami,
Yeah.
Good story.
I was ordering, there was a bit of an incident. Well, there were 2 incidents I'm going to tell you about. The first one was when I got my drinks, and someone actually came over. I ordered these special coconut health drinks, which resulted, and there was a bit of a delay on them, in a man actually coming over and saying, "I'm so sorry, madam, apologies for the hold-up with your coconuts." Actually said that.
Tremendous work by him.
Love
Yes,
him.
when I tweeted that, David Baddiel said, "Thank God Skinner's not there." Hashtag 2 hours of material. There you
I'm
go.
about to disprove that.
Anyway, there was another incident, Frank, which I think you'll relate to.
Did this one-
Something of an awkward character socially. I was told they were still doing the hotel up, and I was being given a tour, like at Middleton. And as I walked round, the lady, the PR lady, said, "Oh, just make sure not to step in that." There was a gentleman there with a moustache, large moustache. He was...
How
it
big
a
was his
concrete-
moustache that you were warned not to step in it?
Was it
It's a bit strong man. No, it's a Mexican.
Oh, okay.
So that they said, "Please don't step in it, whatever you do."
What was the it?
The
It
wet
was a
concrete.
concrete patch.
Oh, okay.
I stepped in it.
No.
Why did I do that? It was
Why
like
did you?
physical Tourette's.
A
I
wet-
don't know.
wet concrete?
Yes. I put my foot in it. I thought he'd be fine. He went, "Oh, God."
Yeah.
He actually was furious with me. So everyone started saying, "Oh, why did you do that?" I don't know why I
Oh,
did it,
no.
Frank. And then I got even angry.
That's weird.
I know, it was very
Dogs
strange.
do it, I've noticed. On our road, there's about 9 pieces of concrete that have got dog footprints on them. They can't stay away from a bit of wet concrete.
I kept...
It's their very Hollywood Walk of Fame, the local dogs.
I was going to say, did you just bend down
Well, that's my version. That's my Grauman's.
Did you
it's
just
out there
sign
at
a
the
name?
Fine Hotel in Miami. No, I kept apologising, and I said, I'm so sorry, and he went, oh, no, oh, God, you wouldn't
don't like
have
his
it.
Jeep.
And then I walked over and I said, well, I might step in it again, because I got passive-aggressive.
Oh, dear.
I know, it wasn't very good.
Even it up.
No, I did have a lovely time, though. I did, I enjoyed it immensely.
It's a shame that guy lost his job.
Yeah, well, he shouldn't have
Cement
responded negatively to Emily's Graumans. Yeah, well, it sounds brilliant, though.
I was, Frank. I love it.
Good on
And
you.
my advice is, if you're going to stay
I
in a
went to,
hotel, make sure there's no more than 6 people there.
I went to Chewton Glen in
How is he?
Hampshire. He's
How was
all
it?
right. He's never really got over being sacked from the England job.
Oh.
That was very nice indeed. I went to Peppa Pig World.
Did you?
Brilliant.
Someone's phone's going
Someone's phone's going. That must be time to go. Well, look.
Frank, this is our last show of the year that we're doing live.
Can I say that we do have the next show's our greatest hit show, so in theory funnier than this. So don't give up.
I really
Don't
enjoyed
say
the
that,
last
Frank.
greatest.
I hate it when you
best of.
criticise our show while we're in the middle of
I'm not
it.
criticising it. I'm saying that the very nature of a best hits is that you don't get any ballet links.
Never say never. It might be in there.
Balletgate.
It might be put in there as a sort of double bluff,
The
which
flaw
is a
in the
very
rug.
popular ballet move. I don't know if you're familiar with it. Yes, so Merry Christmas and a Happy New
Merry
Year. And
Christmas.
when are we back live, Daisy?
9th of January.
Don't say it like it's some sort of adult phone line.
I'm waiting for your call.
Exactly.
On the
Come on,
9th of
guys.
Jan.
Why don't you call? Who is this? Yes. So there's only one possible way to end this, I think. Cheese, then.
The Frank Skinner Show on Absolute Radio. Back Saturday morning from 8. Tune in live for the full Frank experience.
Absolute Radio.